right, beauties. My name is Kate. Thank you for coming to Light on Lotus today. So we're going to start with a mudra. It is the mudra for constant self-authority. It's like being the boss of yourself. Taking charge of yourself. So bring your thumbs into the palm and then clip the thumb with your remaining fingers. So you make these little like baby fists, and then bring the heels of the hands together and then press that against the sternum. So you might even feel a little lift through the heart. Roll the shoulders back and draw the chin down just slightly. We're going to start with a big breath in through the nose. So keep the mudra there at your heart. Inhale through the nose deeply. And then you're going to exhale out through the mouth. So you can make a circular shape through the mouth for your exhalation. Now breathe in through the mouth. And exhale through the nose, closing the mouth. And we'll start again, inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the mouth. Exhaling through the nose. Let's take one more round like that. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the mouth. Exhaling through the nose. So this is about creating constant self-authority. You can inhale through the nose. And then we'll om it out. Om. Now you can change the crossing of your legs. The other leg on top. Inhale, take your arms out wide. So this is called lion paw. It's a Kundalini kriya. And then exhale, take one paw over the other over your head. Yeah. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, crisscross. So the arms are fairly straight, although they appear to be curved, right, because of the arc of the fingers and the natural shape of the arms. So inhaling, the elbows go wide, big lion paws open. Exhale, they alternate the crossing overhead. So this is a great way to warm up the upper back, the chest, the shoulders, as you may have noticed already. But it also fans what we call the arc line overhead, which is sort of like your own personal halo. Yeah, so you're sort of brightening the halo. Keep it going a little bit longer with your eyes closed, turned in and up to the brow. Feel all the arms connect deep into the center of your back. And then breathe it in big and full. Hold the breath in. And you can exhale the hands behind you onto the mat. Plant your feet out in front of you. Lift your hips up high for altar pose. So the hips lift as high as the shoulders and knees. And then let it out for a lion's breath. So it's a big roar out through the mouth. Awesome. Lower your hips down. Cross your legs. Let's come out onto all fours. You can move the blanket aside. And then ease on back into your first downward dog. So nice soft downward dog shape. You could tuck the toes, lift the knees, and then soften one knee then the other. So you're sort of pedaling out to open up the calves, the Achilles, the hamstrings. Make sure your hands are shoulder width apart and your feet are hip width apart. Yeah, so you've got a nice tracking through the joints. You could bring your feet a little closer together, sweetie. Rise up to the balls of the feet, beauties. Breathing in, bend your knees and look forward. So it feels like a big cat. Yeah. So the knees bend, the gaze is forward between the hands, and then exhale, stretch your legs long, let your head release. Try that again, breathing in, come high up onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, look forward. And then breathing out deep in the dog, draw the belly in as you release your head down. One more time, rise up to the balls of the feet, breathe in, look forward. Now reach your chest forward, lower your knees down, your chest and your chin. Ashtanga Namaskar. Slide through to a baby cobra on your breath in. Lift your chest here. And then press back into child's pose. Send your hips to your heels, breathing out. We're going to check in a funky little shape. Come up to all fours with an inhale. Cross your right ankle over your left. And then sit back on your heels awkwardly. Yeah. So this is a variation of Simhasana, lion's pose. Take your lion's pause right on the knees. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, take a big breath in. Lion's breath out through the mouth, cross your eyes. Let's take one more of those. Breathing in. And then let it roar. Clears out the throat chakra. You can take your hands to the floor. Now this shape is called Lolasana. It means to dangle like an earring or a pendant. You may need to use blocks. You're going to try to lift Mula Bandha, your root lock, your navel lock, and see if you can pick up your shins. Yeah, it's not easy. Blocks under each hand can be very helpful. Now scoot your hips forward. Send your legs out in front of you. Your left ankle should be crossed in front of your right. This is Navasana, or a crossed ankle version of it. Yeah, you thought we were going to chill today, didn't you? Not quite. Cross your legs. Downward facing dog. Step it back. Inhale, come high up onto the balls of the feet. Bend your knees, look forward like a big cat. And then knees, chest, chin, breathing out. Slide through to cobra, inhaling, roll the shoulder heads back, point your feet. And then child's pose, exhaling, back over the knees. Inhale up to all fours, cross the left ankle over the right, sit your hips back to your heels, and roll up, palms on the knees. Breathing in, 2 lion's breaths here. And then Lolasana, take your hands to the mat or to your blocks. Pick yourself up. So engaging the inner locks. Hips come forward. Lift your legs, crossed ankle Navasana or boat pose. Yeah, so it's almost like a little clasp between your ankles. Take another breath in here, lift up. Cross your legs, rock forward, downward dog, breathing out. Inhale, come high up onto the balls of the feet. Bend your knees, look forward. Knees, chest, chin, breathing out. This time, come up to upward facing dog on your inhale. Point your feet, lift your thighs up off the mat. Lift your thighs, Janice, with your feet pointed. Yeah, now downward facing, breathing out. Right leg to the sky, yogis. Breathing in, bend the right knee, roll the hip open on your exhale. Get longer through the left waist and move your left thigh bone back. Now inhale, straighten the right leg out. Rotate the thigh bone back in and steer the right hip point forward. Step it forward to the top of the mat, breathing out. Okay, inhale the right arm up, take a little twist. Lower your left knee to the mat gently on your exhale. You're going to take your right thumb into the right hip crease. Just give it a little guidance. And then stretch your left arm forward. So you wrap the left shoulder forward too. Now bring your thumbs together right in that gesture of constant authority, right, or self-authority. And then from here, open the arms with the breath in. So there's the lion paw, the chest opening, the heart opening. And then you can take your hands down, straighten your right leg, flex through the right foot here. So it's Ardha Hanumanasana, bowing over the right leg to open up your hamstrings. We'll come into a lunge at the top of the mat. Tuck your left toes, lift your left knee, breathing in. Step your left foot up behind your right foot at the top of the mat. So the ankles are going to be crossed. Lift to a flat back here, inhaling. Take a bow on your exhale for a crossed ankle Uttanasana. Sweep it up to stand, breathing in. Circle your arms up. And then dive right back down, breathing out. Step your left leg back on an inhale, look forward. Downward facing dog on your exhale. Now rise up to the balls of the feet, breathing in, look forward, your heels lift. From here, chaturanga, it's a little bit different. It's almost like a wave. Upward facing, roll the shoulders back, point your feet, lift your thighs. Exhale over the toes for downward facing. Inhale the left leg to the sky. Bend the left knee, roll the hip open, but move your right thigh bone back and send your right heel down. Inhale, straighten the left leg out, rotate the thigh bone back in, get nice and square. Draw your knee into your nose and step your foot forward to the top of the mat. Inhale the left arm up, take a twist from your navel center. Lower your right knee down. Now your left thumb is going to hook into the left hip crease, right at the top of the right thigh. Sweep the right arm forward as you come right into an Anjaneyasana, down on your knee or crescent moon pose. And then clip the thumbs, bring your hands to the heart for a moment. We'll circle the arms open, breathing in. So feel the expanse across the chest. Hands down, straighten through the left leg, flex through the left foot, take a little bow. Yeah. Soften up the jaw, teeth, and tongue here, yogis. And then come into a lunge at the top of the mat. You'll bend the left knee, tuck the right toes, lift the right knee. Exhale, step the right foot behind the left, crossed ankles. Inhale to a flat back. Empty into your legs, let your head go. Reach into your legs and feet, circle it up to stand, breathing in. Voila, good. And then you can cross the arms on the way down, breathing out. Step your right leg to the back of the mat. Inhale, look forward. Downward dog, breathing out, hips high. Rise up to the balls of the feet, breathing in. Bend your knees and look forward. And then on your exhale, it's right through chaturanga, like a ripple. The elbows bend backwards. Upward facing, roll the shoulders back, lift the heart. Downward facing, tuck your toes, send your hips high. Awesome, you guys. Lift to the balls of the feet, breathing in. Bend your knees, look forward to the top of the mat. Step or float your way there on your exhale. And then lift to a flat back, inhaling, Ardha Uttanasana. Bow into your legs on your exhale. Release the chest toward the thighs. Come on up to stand, breathing in. Circle the arms wide. And you can even clip the thumbs into the palms. Bring your hands right down into the heart. The mudra of self-authority. And then we'll open up for Utkatasana. The arms can open wide, breathing in. Scoop your hands high, but drop your hips low. And then breathing out, dive back into Uttanasana, folding inwards. Roll the heart open on a breath in. Make some room for yourself. Step or float your way back through Chaturanga, breathing out. Upward facing, inhaling, find the top and the width across the chest, and then downward facing on your exhale, tuck your toes, move right through your center. Take a big breath in here all together. You're welcome to let it out through the mouth in a lion's breath. This is clearly a practice about lions. I thought, what animal has more self-authority than a lion? I couldn't think of anyone. So that royal sort of quality, that quiet, contained power. Inhale the right leg high. Step it forward to the top, breathing out. Inhale the right arm up. Now you're going to plug your right thumb into the hip crease there, just like we did in Anjaneyasana, but tent your left fingers. Spin the left heel down. Keep guiding the right hip back. Now reach your left hand forward as you come up. Yeah, so it's like Warrior One, but not quite. Yeah, and then you can bring your thumbs into the palms. Drop a little deeper through the right shin. Yeah. From here, you're going to open the arms, breathing in. Interlace your hands, devotional warrior, breathing out. Take your hands back to the mat. Inhale to plank. Reach your right leg back. Your left toes have to tuck. Lower down halfway, chaturanga. Upward facing, breathing in. Back over the toes to downward facing. Inhale the left leg to the sky. Draw the knee into the nose. Step your foot forward to the top of the mat. Inhale the left arm up. Take your thumb, fit it into the hip crease. Tent the right fingers, spin the right heel down. And then inhale, reach forward to come on up to your Warrior One. At least through the lower body, it's Warrior One, right? And then bring your thumbs into the palms. Shoulders on your back. Steering the hips forward. Open up, breathing in. Devotional warrior, breathing out. The head releases. Take your hands to the mat. Inhale, spin the back heel up. Plank pose. Chaturanga on your exhale. Upward facing, roll it open. Downward facing, breathing out. Let's take a full breath in here through the nose. Can side out. So we're going to start to move around the mat in this flow. So we'll be facing the back of the mat. We'll make our way around. Reach your right leg high, inhaling. When you step your right foot forward, lift your right arm right away. Thumbprint hooks into the right hip crease. Come on up, breathing in. On your exhale, bring your thumbs together and turn your right toes in. And then from here, open the arms wide. Lion paw, yeah. Turn your left toes out. Warrior Two at the back with your palms up today. Yeah, why not? So feel the arcing upward of the hands like big soup bowls. And then inhale into reverse warrior. Tip your left arm up. Maybe the right hand curves around the back of the right hamstrings. And then chaturanga on your exhale. Unless you want to skip it, and you can step back into downward dog instead. Yeah. There's no need to do every vinyasa, especially if you have shoulder or wrist injury you're working with. Now we'll inhale the left leg high. Step it forward between your hands. Lift the left arm as you place your foot down. Hook your thumb into the left hip crease. Tent your right fingers. Spin the right heel down. Come up to Warrior One, stacking the shoulders over the hips with the right hand extended. Now you're going to turn the left toes in. Bring your hands to your heart. Take those little fists. And then open up on the inhale, arcing the palms toward the sky. Turn the right toes around, warrior two. You might have to shift the feet apart. Yes, steer your left shoulder back over your left hip a little bit, folks. Yeah. And then peaceful warrior, breathing in. Reach your right shin forward as the right arm tosses overhead. Chaturanga or downward dog right there. Yeah. Beautiful. Adding on. Inhale the right leg high. Exhale, step it forward. Lift your right arm. Hook the thumb into the hip crease. Spin the left heel down. Inhale your way up. Turn to the side. Open your arms. The left toes turn around. Warrior two at the back. Inhale to peaceful warrior. Take your forearm to your left thigh, everybody, and sweep the right arm overhead. You can even feel that lion paw vibe here through the hands. You're going to sweep the right hand down across the face, slide your left hand down your shin, triangle pose right there, breathing in. So the left hand can move down the shin toward the ankle. Gaze up toward the right hand if you can, or you could look straight ahead. Press through the left foot to tip your right hip open. Take your left hand on your ankle today, or your shin, and then try to align the shoulders vertically, one over the other, as well as the hips, at least as stacked as they can be here. Now sweep your right arm overhead with a big breath in. Circle it down, turn your left toes in, duck and dive. Your head's going to drop right to the middle of the mat for Prasarita. Now we're going to shift all the way to the top of the mat. Tuck the left toes. Inhale the right arm up. Twisting. Downward dog splits on your exhale. The right leg lifts behind you. Now walk your hands back towards your left foot, everybody. You're going backwards. Tent your left fingertips. Rotate the right hip open. It's Ardha Chandrasana at the back of the mat. So you're lifting your right arm and tilting your right toes to the right side of the room. Come up onto your left fingertips or onto a block. So pick your palm up. Come up to your fingertips. So see this? Do that with your hand. Yeah, tented fingertips here so that your spine is horizontal. Otherwise, there's a good chance it's collapsed and that we lost the horizontal line. Yeah. Okay, from here, circle the right hand out in front of you. Walk hand over hand toward the top of the mat like a wheelbarrow. Yeah, and then inhale, bring your chest forward. Keep your right leg lifted. Lower down, three-legged chaturanga. Yeah, inhale, both feet on the mat for upward facing. Even out. So you swoop up, and then downward facing, tuck your toes, send your hips high. Take a full breath in here through the nose. Gonna empty it out and deepen your downward facing dog. Yeah. Now send the left leg high with an inhale. Step it forward to the top, lift your left arm, exhaling. Hook the thumb into the hip crease, spin the right heel down, come up into your warrior one, reaching your right hand forward. And then turn to the side on your exhale, pull the hands into the heart. Open the arms, breathing in, the right toes pick up, land in warrior two at the back. You could shimmy the right foot forward a little bit to give you space. Peaceful warrior, breathing in, tip your right arm up, bring your forearm to your thigh, and your left arm long overhead. Try to flood the weight through the right heel, stacking your knee over your ankle. Find a continuous line from the pinky toe edge of the left foot to the left wrist. Now you're going to sweep the left hand down across the face. Send your right hand down your right shin, inhaling into triangle pose. So press through the ball of the right foot and guide the left hip open. Yeah. Lean back through your shoulder blades. Take your right hand to your ankle or your shin. Turn your left toes forward, hun. Yeah, hips come forward, shoulders lean back. Yes, there we go. And then inhale the left arm overhead, keeping your shoulder anchored into your back. Sweep it down, turn your right toes in, drop your head to the middle of the mat for a straddle forward fold. Relax your faces here, people. Yeah. Okay, right? Bend the elbows through the legs. Now we're going to walk hand over hand back to the top of the mat. Tuck your right toes. Lift your left arm with an inhale. Stretch it up. Circle your left arm overhead and down. Exhale your left leg high. Downward dog splits. Now walk backwards, backwards, backwards to your right foot. Reach into your right foot. Tip your left hip open. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose at the back. So the left leg lifts, the left hip opens. Fantastic. It's expansive. And then walk hand over hand back to the top of the mat for your three-legged chaturanga. Lower halfway, keep your left leg lifted. Scoop up for upward facing, both feet on the mat, shoulders even. Spread your fingers, downward facing dog, breathing out. Awesome, everybody. Inhale to the balls of the feet. Bend your knees, gaze forward. Step or hop to the top of the mat, breathing out. Inhale to a flat back. Empty into your legs, letting go. Let's come through chair pose, breathing in. Bend your knees, sweep your arms up high. Standing tall in Tadasana on your breath out. And come back here. All right. The boss of yourselves. Open your hands by your sides. Bring the left knee up into your chest so you can shift your weight into the right leg. Take the left knee into the chest, roll the shoulders back. Find your standing leg. And then tree pose, externally rotate the left thigh. Set your foot up against the inner right thigh. You're going to take your arms out. Lift your left knee. Ooh. And then cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Bring your left arm under your right. Eagle arms in a one-legged chair, also known as temple dancer. Oh. So we're getting nice and low here. Yeah. Scoop the stomach in and up as you reach your fingertips forward and gaze out past your fingertips. All right, we're going to inhale, lift back up with the left knee into the chest. I know it's tricky. And then step your left leg back. Devotional warrior. The head releases to the inside of the right leg. Yes. Circle your left arm forward. Inhale to peaceful warrior. So you can adjust your feet slightly. Take your left arm behind your back this time. So you weave it into a little half bind feeling. Now bring your right hand down onto the ankle. So the right arm's along the inside of the leg. Roll your left shoulder back. Keep your belly strong. Some of you might take a full bind, or this might be enough with the half bind. See if you can wrap your left arm all the way behind your back to the top of the right thigh. You might straighten your right leg for a variation in triangle pose. You might not. Everybody take your gaze forward. Bend your right knee. Move your right fingertips out in front of you. Pick up your left leg. Now catch your left foot in your left hand if you can. You're welcome to use a block under your right hand. So this is Chapasana. It's like a big bow standing on one leg. Okay. Send your knee back and then down just a touch. Release the left leg. Take your left hand down. Bend both knees, folks. You're going to cross your left knee behind your right knee. Lower slightly. Inhale and look forward. So it's sort of like a crouching eagle vibe. And then exhale, standing splits. 2 more times like that. Inhale, come deep into your crouch, pressing onto the back side of your left foot. And then standing splits, breathing out. 1 more. Come on down, breathing in. Plant your hands out in front of you. Send your left leg back. So this is sort of maybe a handstand, maybe a 3-legged chaturanga. The right toes move to the back of the mat and you sort of get a little bit of air. Yeah. Meet in downward dog. Even out the breath. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Come to a flat back on your inhale. Empty into your legs on your exhale. Rise up through chair pose, breathing in. Scoop the arms up overhead. Come to stand in Tadasana, breathing out. And open your hands by your sides. Ground yourself. I know that was a big one. Lean into your left leg. Bring your right knee into your chest. Hug it close. Yeah. Rotate the right ankle around a few times, and then spiral the thigh bone out in the hip socket to bring yourself into tree pose, Vrikshasana. So the foot's on the inner left thigh. Drop the right hip a touch. Yeah, there you go. We're going to take the arms out and lift the right knee, breathing in. Cross your right ankle over your left ankle, right arm under the left arm. Send the right knee out to the side wall as you practice your Uddiyana Bandha, the upward flying lift of the navel with the drishti forward. Now inhale back up to stand. Lift the right knee up, lift your fingertips up. Devotional warrior, step it back. Head releases, arms reach overhead in extension. Now inhale, swing the right arm forward. Adjust the right toes open. The left foot can wander in. Reverse warrior, wrap the right arm behind the back though. And then take your left hand down the shin to the left ankle. So it could be your half bind or your full bind. Bring your left hip underneath you and angle your right toes forward a little more, Ashley. Yeah. There you go. And then bring your shoulder blades back. Some of you might lengthen the left leg for a triangle. Breathing in, maybe keeping the bind. And then soften the left knee on the breath out. Look forward. Shift your left fingertips out in front of you. Grab a block if you need it. Catch the right foot with your right hand. So there's a shoulder opening, a thigh opening, a heart opening. Release the right arm, soften both knees as you come into center. Lower yourselves down, inhale, look forward. So you're on the back of the right foot. Exhale, standing splits. Again, inhale, come into your crouch. Standing splits, breathing out. One more, inhaling. Standing splits, but see if you can kick up with the right leg and float your left foot to the back of the mat as you bend the elbows. Move the heart forward. Upward facing, roll it open. Downward facing, breathing out. Awesome, you guys. From here, walk your hands backwards to your feet. Yeah. You're going to take yogi toe lock around your big toes with peace signs. So the thumbs move to the insides of the toes. Lift your heart, inhaling. So the chest lifts off the thighs, you make room in the waist. Now exhale, bend your elbows and draw your head straight down between your feet. Now shift the hips right over the ankle bones. See if you can deepen the standing forward bend. A little more opening through the whole back body here. So peace sign with your thumbs on the inside. It's a peace sign. Yeah, there you go. Bend your elbows and straighten your legs. Yeah, so bring your chest forward toward your thighs. All right, release your yogi toe lock, folks. Soften your knees just ever so slightly. Now roll up to stand one vertebra at a time. Yeah. Great. Take a moment. Let the blood move out of your head. We're going to shift on over to the wall and spend the rest of our time there. So move your mat short side against the wall. You'll want your blanket and your blocks nearby. So we're going to try something a little funky. Hey, Ryoko, can you scoot your mat this way, babes? Yeah. We're going to check in L-shaped handstand, maybe regular handstand. We'll see how it goes. So I'll demonstrate over here. Do you mind if I use your mat? Okay. So you're going to take a very short downward dog like a chihuahua. Heels at the wall. Bend your right knee. Bring your right toes up the wall so they're tucked. See if you can line up your thighs. And the right heel and the right sitting bone are almost meeting here. So you're strong through both arms, spread through the fingers, lifting the palms ever so slightly into your hands. Now step into the wall with your right foot and lift your left leg. So it's like a warrior 3 shape upside down. Gaze back at your right toes, square your hips off here. You might switch your legs, taking your left foot on the wall, lifting your right leg. Release your head straight down between your arms. Keep the thighs engaged and very parallel. And then you can walk your way down the wall and rest in child's pose. So let's give it a go. So it's dog at the wall. Walk your hands back so the heels start to move down into the mat. Take your right foot up, tucking the right toes with your right heel up next to your sitting bone. Tuck your right toes. Good. So spread your fingers out, heels of the hands flat on the mat, hands shoulder width apart. Tuck your toes, Norma. Good. So you're going to step up onto the wall and send your left leg straight up to the ceiling as the hips pike over your shoulders. So that's a little short for you, hon. You're a lot longer than that. Yeah. So steer your left hip back and your right hip forward, some of you, and look back at your toes. Okay, rein it in. Flex your feet. Strong legs here. So you know what? You set up just a little far from the wall. I would come down so that your heel can be on the wall. Good. Rein it in. Square it off. You're welcome to switch legs. So the left side of your body is in a handstand, isn't it? Yeah. You can take your left foot on the wall and lift your right leg and try balancing on the other side. Keep spiraling the thighs into parallel. Kelly, look down towards your left foot. I guess it's up the wall-ish. Yeah, straighten your arms, hun, square the hips. And then when you've had enough, you can come down and rest in child's pose. That looks really nice. Yeah. It's good because you're up there a little longer than you might be otherwise. So you get the benefits of the inversion. So that is not an L shape, my dear. Come down and take yourself a little further out. We can try the straight up version, right? But I would flip around. So I'll demonstrate that over here if you don't mind. So turning around to face the wall, same setup, little dog. Step 1 foot forward just slightly. Look out between your thumbs. Lift the other leg, and on an exhale, see if you can kick up, bringing yourself into alignment vertically. I like to gaze between my thumbs. You might bring the big toe joints together. You might balance off the wall. You might not. You can come back into child's pose. It might take you a couple vigorous kicks to get up there. And you might not get up at all today, and that's okay too. Straight arms, spread your fingers, active hands. Engaging your core to keep it contained. Quiet, contained power. Yes, Amy, beautiful. Nice. Lead your hips toward the wall there, Ashley. Bring your other leg with you. Yeah, it's kind of hanging back. So you got to bring the second leg up like a 1, 2. Okay, arm straight. Kick your left leg up. Bring your other leg to the wall. Straighten your arms. Okay, come on down. Come down. You got to keep your arms straight, hon. Otherwise, you will drop yourself on your head. That's what happens when you bend the arms. Unless you're a bodybuilder and can do push-ups and handstand. It's too much, right? Okay, I think that's enough of that. Let's take it down a notch. We're going to check in some extra special hip opening / back bending. So turn around to face away from the wall. You're going to take your heels at the wall for downward dog again, kind of like we did for our L-shaped handstand. Yeah, so hands away from the wall, heels at the wall. Right leg up the wall. Point your foot this time. Point it. Just watch your pedicure so you don't scrape off your nail polish on the wall. I've seen it happen. Now walk your hands back toward your left foot and send your right leg up the wall. Think standing splits. Yeah, it's special. So it's creating a closed chain to help square the hips off. Just watch out for this ledge. Yeah. Walk your hands back a little more, Kelly. Walk your hands back. Try to get the front of the right thigh up the wall. I know. You're like, what? Keep your bandhas engaged. The lifting of the pelvic floor and the navel. Stay for another breath. Try to steer the right thigh bone into a parallel place. So the right hip point turns down toward the ground. Yeah. Widening across the back of the right thigh. Okay. Walk your hands back to the top of the mat like a wheelbarrow, like we did earlier in our chaturanga. And then bring your right shin behind your wrist, pigeon pose. So keep going, walk forward. Right shin scrapes across the front of the mat. Now, it might be nice to put a blanket underneath your right hip, or even a block. A block could go under your right hand as well. So we're not going to pass out in this pigeon just yet. Come back up, please. Bend your left knee. Let's back bend. So the left knee bends. Reach back with the left hand for the left knee, but keep your hips square. Let's give you a little bit more of a lift here. So relax that. Lift your hips. Yeah, good. There we go. So reaching back with the left hand. Bend your left knee. Steer your left hip point forward. So it's tricky, right? We're externally rotating the front hip, but we're internally rotating the back hip. We're doing a really nice combination hip opener here. You could stretch your right arm forward, turn the palm up, reach, yeah, and balance. Turn your shoulder around to the front and your hip around to the front, and you'll have a whole different experience. Yeah. Good. There are a lot of different variations you could play with here. Maybe even both hands back for your left foot. So it's Ekapada Raja Kapotasana, which means one-legged royal pigeon pose. And then when you've had enough of the back bend, you can come on down and peace out on your forearms. You might rest your third eye on a block here. Yeah. Or cross your arms and rest your head on your forearms. See if you can let go for a few deep breaths here. And climb up onto your hands, yogis. You're going to lean into your right hip. Move the gear out of your way. So if there's a blanket there, slide it out. Lean into the right hip. Bring your left leg around. Okay, we're switching legs. So the right leg picks back up. Take your hand under your right foot with your palms up. Guide your right heel towards your belly button and see about placing the pinky toe edge of your right foot up in the hip crease of the left thigh. Yeah, right at the root of the thigh. So this is half lotus. Sit up tall. Take a hold of your blanket. If you're at home on carpet, you'll be okay without a blanket. But the rest of us, we need to protect our knees here. We're going to take Simhasana or lion's pose, the full pose. So it's a lot more extreme than the variation we started with. So I'll spin around so that you can see a little bit better. I like to put the blanket out under the knees sideways so your knees are protected. Some of you might be able to go into full lotus here. I wouldn't crank it, especially if you have a knee issue. Never force lotus. Never. So you can keep half lotus or go with full lotus if your legs cooperate. We're going to wander forward onto the hands and knees. So the knees are on the blanket. Spread the fingers. Now move your heart forward and roll the shoulders back. So the hips come forward. It's a major hip opener and a back bend. You two are going to be very intimate there. Good. Inhale, folks. 2 big lion's breath. Let your tongue out and cross your eyes. One more for good measure. And then walk your hands back. Woo, very gently. Uncross your legs, and you're going to want to shake them out in front of you. Yeah. Bend your knees, lift your hips, breathing in tabletop. Stretch open through the front body. Lower yourselves down. We're going to make our way back into downward dog. So you can set the blanket aside because you'll need it for your pigeon pose in a moment. This is a long sequence. Walk back so your heels are up against the wall. Okay, now it's the left leg that's lifting up the wall. Point your foot. Watch the nail polish. And then walk your hands back to your right foot, moving the leg up the wall. Standing splits at the wall. Very special indeed. Steer the left thigh bone into parallel, broadening across the back of the left hamstrings. So you can use your hands into the ground to help you. If you have a hamstring injury, please back off here. Just more squaring, honey. Now you're going to walk back to the top of the mat for your pigeon pose. Walk forward on your paws as far as you can to get away from the wall so you can fully extend your right leg behind you. Yeah, now take your blanket, fold it up, put it underneath your left hip to equal out the playing field there. Then you can use a block under your left hand. Widen your left knee a little bit, hun. Yeah. So we're steering the hips straight ahead. Tent the left fingers, use your block, and then bend the right knee and reach back for the right foot with the right hand. Yeah. And then bring the right shoulder forward, the right hip forward. Lift the lower belly. You can even press your left shin down to feel an extra lift. So we're not collapsing into the lumbar spine. You might scoop the left palm up out in front of you. Lifting your gaze. Beautiful. can come down and release the shape, resting on the forearms or on your block. Wander back up onto your hands. Move the props out from underneath your left hip. Lean into the left hip and bring your right leg around to the front of the mat in front of you. And then switch. Pick up your left leg. So the left heel's moving towards your belly button. Hands turned up. Guiding the pinky toe edge of your left foot up into the fold at the top of your right thigh. So half lotus, you're welcome to stick with half lotus. I would set up your blanket out in front of you. Now let's try full lotus for those of you that did it on the other side. One side might be very different than the other, though. Just because you can do lotus on one side doesn't guarantee that the other side will work out. One more thing before we go into our last lion pose. You might grab your blocks. We started with a pose called Lolasana, which is to dangle like an earring or a pendant. In lotus legs, it's called Tolasana, which means scale pose. So the blocks are very helpful. If you bring them in close to the outer hips, you can get a little bit more leverage. So it's like a levitating lotus. Eventually, you take yourself up off the ground without the blocks. So again, it's the lifting of the bandhas. Scale pose. Mm-hmm. If you weren't warm already, you should be now. It's an instant way to increase your core temperature. All right, here we go. Simhasana to finish it off. And those of you that are bigger backbenders, you might even, I'll put it out there, take it or leave it, come onto the forearms. It's much deeper. The hips move forward. The heart rolls open. Breathing in. Roar it out. 2 more times. You'll help yourself up carefully. Backing up. Woo. Yeah, stretch your legs out in front of you. Shake them out. You need it. Yeah. Roll up your blanket. Take it underneath your knees. Just make sure you're far enough away from the wall that you've got space to lie back into Savasana, which is coming your way very soon. You can fold over your legs for a few breaths in Paschimottanasana. If you're an extra limber character, you might take a block around the soles of the feet. If you're not as long through the backs of the legs or as open through the hamstrings, and you could use a strap around your feet as well. You can lie back in Shavasana right from here with the blanket under your knees. The palms turning open, The eyes closing and rolling up toward the third eye, right in the center of your brow. Close your eyes. Caliber is the ability to maintain the projected status and activity of our committed self. When we become our own directive authority, then the psyche can fulfill the self, and you can be happy. Oftentimes we reject authority and initiate chaos out of an attempt to create individuality by difference rather than through integrity and wholeness. Yes. Meditation in Mudra enhances your capacity for caliber to hold and execute self-authority. from Yogi Bhajan. And start to deepen your breath. Feel your chest rise and expand on the inhalation, and then soften and fall on your exhalation. You can flex and point the feet and open and close the hands. And bend your knees, bring your feet on the mat, and we'll roll onto the right side for fetal pose. You can come up to sit using your left hand. Finding your seat, you might sit up on your rolled blanket. Thumbs in, fingers over the top, bring the heels of the hands together, press it into the heart space. Take a deep breath here, and then focus in on where in your life you need a little bit more self-authority, right? How would you like to conduct yourself for the remainder of the week? Being the one in charge of your behaviors, of your emotions, of your actions. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Namaste. Thank you.